Imagine finally finding the Spider-Man series you've always dreamed of, a series that understands the character, respects the viewer's intelligence, and makes you feel that Peter Parker isn't just a superhero, but a real human being. Then suddenly, without any ending, without any explanation within the story, it's canceled. Not because it failed, not because it was bad, but because it was the victim of a business deal. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the true story of the Spectacular Spider-Man, the series many consider the best Spider-Man series in history. When the series first aired in 2008, no one expected it to have such an impact. At first, some thought it was just another cartoon version like any other, but from the very first episodes, everyone noticed that there was something different. This series wasn't just about fighting or action. It focused on Peter Parker's own life. We saw him struggle at school, struggle with money, try to balance his normal life with his responsibilities as a superhero. We saw him lose, make mistakes, and regret. And that's what made the character more real than we'd ever seen before. One of the show's greatest strengths was its writing. The episodes weren't just separate adventures. They formed a cohesive narrative where every event impacted the next. The characters weren't static. They evolved over time. Friends could become enemies, and enemies could have understandable reasons. Even the villains weren't just conventional evils. They were characters with motivations and emotions. This made the conflict more realistic and impactful. The audience loved the show, and the critics praised it. Ratings were high, and impressions were overwhelmingly positive. It was clear that the show had a long future. There were plans for new seasons, bigger stories, and more significant developments. But just as everything was going in the right direction, something outside the show's universe happened that completely changed its fate. In 2009, Disney acquired Marvel Studios. This deal was one of the biggest in entertainment history. Suddenly, Disney owned the Marvel Cinematic Universe and its characters. But the problem was that Spider-Man's rights weren't simple. Sony still owned a significant portion of the character's rights, particularly in films and some television productions. The Spectacular Spider-Man was the result of a complex collaboration between several companies. And here's where the problem began. Disney had acquired Marvel, but it didn't own the series entirely. This meant it couldn't easily continue with it. Instead of trying to continue the same story, it decided to start afresh with a completely new project. The decision was clear from a business perspective, but it was disastrous from the fans' point of view. The series was officially canceled after only 2 seasons. The story was left unfinished. We didn't get the ending. We didn't know how the characters would develop. We didn't see the future that was being built. Everything ended abruptly. To make matters worse, Disney launched a new series afterward, Ultimate Spider-Man. But for many fans, it wasn't of the same quality, nor did it have the same depth. It was different in style and tone, and it lost many of the elements that made Spectacular Spider-Man so special. As the years passed, the series didn't disappear from people's memories. On the contrary, it became even more appreciated. More viewers began to rediscover it and realize how special it was. It became an example of missed opportunities, an example of excellent work that didn't get the chance it deserved. And perhaps that's what makes it so sad, because we know it could have continued. It could have become even greater. It could have offered so much more. And that's why many people still say today that Disney didn't just cancel a Spider-Man series. It canceled the best Spider-Man series that could have run for many years. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.